All right, here's the 1-minute video that they also made as a complimentary piece.
I don't know who Hasan Piker is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
Let's just let him do the talking.
You support terrorism, question mark?
America deserved 9/11, dude.
Therefore, I would vote for Hamas over Israel every single time.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization. I don't have an issue with them.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. My favorite flag, Hezbollah. Look it up. Ah, you are anti-Semitism.
The past 38 days, Operation SC's Fury has been continuing.
A nation entirely comprised of messianic, inbred, ultra-Orthodox psychopaths. Why you not love Israel? To specifically understand exactly how Nazi Germany got to that position. This is awesome. Dude, why did they put this out? This is a highlight reel, bro. Yo! This is so funny. It's like, especially because if it's in video form, you can tell when I'm like also memeing too. Oh my God. They're like, he's making fun of my emotional support apartheid country that's doing a genocide. I'm going to repost it. That's where Israel is. You shouldn't even let someone be the local dog catcher as if they've ever exhibited any sort of positive feelings about the state of Israel.
It's gotta stop there, right?
Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this chat?
Who is you harder, America or Chi Minh? Suck my old lady.
When people
tell you who they are, believe them. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Another highlight reel just dropped. Shout out to the Apartheid Defense League for their tireless work of trying to get me blacklisted from every major outlet, not realizing that the bookers at these places realize that this is totally ridiculous and that my presence on these shows do not. Okay, I'm just going to say it's totally ridiculous. Way too long, ended after the shout out. Another highlight reel just dropped. Shout out to the Apartheid Defense League for the tireless work of trying to get me blacklisted from every major outlet. Not realizing the bookers of these places realize it's totally ridiculous. I want to put the bookers part in there too, because I know that's the reason why they're doing it. It's like when Richie Torres's comms team, anytime there's a new ADL article or anytime there's a new Jewish Insider article about me, they'll like mass blast it to these news outlets, be like, don't get this guy on your show. They'll be like, hey, WQRX, local news broadcaster in Georgia, make sure that you never have this guy on. It's like, why would they, like, what are you even talking about? Why would they not? Okay. Find these hit pieces to be totally ridiculous. Yeah, I said, Apartheid Defense League for their tireless work of trying to get me blacklisted from every major news outlet, not realizing that the bookers at these places find these hit pieces to be totally ridiculous. ADL must be losing funds if they're resorting to becoming your clipper. Mike Moon 22, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Yeah. It's always great. It's always great. I like it. Do nothing when your enemy is committing errors. Yeah, they're making fan edits, dude. They're resorting to making fan edits, which, I respect. No, they're not running out of money, for the record. For those of you who are wondering, they're absolutely not running out of money. They are making more money than ever before, while they have also fired half of their research team because half of their research team was actually researching, legitimate anti-Semitic incidents and legitimate like far-right extremism in the country. The Free Press is running paid ads to smear me. Oh my God, that's amazing. BDBD reacted to you on Laura Ingraham. Also, they love you noticing them. So many media outlets are smearing a live streamer. Looks like the Capitals really can't sit still anymore. The factional strife is getting bloody. It all started when the Democratic Party candidate teamed up with Hasan Piker for campaign promotion, only for hardliners in the Democratic Party and Republican-aligned media to jointly smear Hasan, turning him to primetime TV sensation. Capitals control public opinion, making it too hard to turn things around. A specter is haunting Europe, the specter of communism. All the powers of old Europe have entered into a holy alliance to exercise this specter. Pope and Tsar, Metternich and Guziot, French radicals and the German police spies? Where is the party in opposition that has not been decried as communistic by its opponents in power? Where is the opposition that has not hurled back the branding reproach of communism against the more advanced opposition parties as well as against its reactionary adversaries? Excerpt from the introduction to the Communist Manifesto. Brave people support you, Hasan. The ruling class is scared. Protect our great general. Too much freedom of speech. Can't hold it in anymore. Hasan loves it here so much that people speak so nicely. Everyone is talented. Finding comrades gives you the energy and courage to keep the revolution going. Wow, he really reads out every single sentence. I want to be on TV. If Hasan is successfully suppressed, it not only proves the stupidity of the American people, Hasan must understand that the U.S. currently lacks their soil for a revolution because their suffering isn't enough to bear its cost. Yeah, it's true. I say that all the time as well. I don't think the material conditions have deteriorated to such a degree that like a revolutionary movement can be built. They got, as long as the jalapeno poppers still keep flowing, Americans will never engage in revolutionary actions, and they'll never organize in that direction. So that, and also a significant lack of class consciousness. Suzanne Lambert's take on you. Who's Suzanne Lambert? Even Instagram is like, nah. What is this? Is Suzanne Lambert. Basketball is a game worth playing.
My favorite person, not gonna lie. Don't hate him. When I saw him at the Crooked Con green room, it was fine, whatever.
I've interviewed him a couple times, and you know what we do? We disagree.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And that's okay. And I totally agree. I personally think it's great that Democratic candidates are opening up to going on these different shows. Here's where I push back a little bit. When people defend Hasan, they say like, well, he can reach so many young people and young voters, etc. And I'm like, well, yeah, he has millions of subscribers, followers. Like, clearly he's an influential voice. I would never deny that. I don't think anyone is. But from my perspective, I feel like he's reaching people who would already be engaged politically, because when I think of like my kind of random guy friends who are floating in a no man's land politically, from my perspective, they're going to turn on Hasan Piker talking about neoliberal, imperialist, rad lib, you know, whatever, and be like, this guy sounds like a weirdo. What is your perspective?
I think it's not so simple as, oh, we already have those people, or these are not the people we need to reach, or they're already on the left, as opposed to being more independent. Two great challenges when you're facing an authoritarian.
Once again, I think a lot of people assume that the average guy is a fucking idiot, okay? People are smarter than we give them credit. Like, I don't utilize, but first of all, am I utilizing academic language that actually frustrates people? Maybe at times, certainly. Or am I too vulgar for polite, civilized society? Because I do both. And that's part of the reason why these guys can't like put me in this effective box to be like, he's actually inconsistent, or he's actually problematic and not good and not good at doing outreach. I do both. I contain multitudes. I speak like a normal person, but sometimes I also add, you know, some academic language into my commentary. But I think people eventually understand exactly what it is, right?
Rising government. You're trying to prove that the institutions can work even when the other side.
Also, this was a conversation that took place with Bernard Sanders, if you recall, where I believe it was Elisa Slotkin who said, stop using the term oligarch. Why are you doing the oligarchy tour? Stop using the term oligarch when describing, you know, our corporate overlords. Americans are too dumb to understand the term oligarch, except they weren't. They understand exactly what it is. Okay? That's it.
It doesn't follow the rules of those institutions. It's as if we're playing basketball and we're trying to not only win the game, but also convince the crowd that basketball is a game worth playing. And they're cheating the whole time. And we're like, no, the rules of basketball are pretty good. And they're not perfect, and we could change it here and there. But if we all followed the rules of basketball, we'd all have a better time. And they're cheating left and right. But we're trying to win a game while proving that the rules of a game are worth following. And Democrats have fucked up repeatedly. People are anxious. They are upset. They are cynical. They are worried. And it makes it easier to turn your fire on people who will listen, right? There's a lot of times where people want to fight amongst themselves because you want to complain to people that care about your complaints. Meanwhile, we have this overlap between these sort of tech billionaires and right-wing media and anti-democratic politicians. Pro-democracy movements don't fall apart because it's easy. They fall apart because there are real disagreements, huge, important, moral disagreements. I believe it is completely sincere when people find things that Hasan Piker says to be outrageous and beyond the pale. We have to be a big pro-democracy movement that runs from anti-Trump Republicans all the way to the far left of the Democratic Party and beyond. And that will be uncomfortable at times. But that is our job. That is what we have to do. That is what it means to face the threat for what it is. It means you have to put aside those very real differences at times to recognize you're ultimately on the same team. And so that's why I think it is worth it sometimes to try to see us all as part of a coalition, go on these shows, even if at times you find like what you're saying, like, I think it's kind of weird.
I also don't think that the Podjons find me all that objectionable. Maybe love it more so than others, but even then, like I've known Love It for almost a decade now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these people are newcomers and maybe ideologically more aligned with like the center of the party, but I've known these people. I've known these people for almost a decade, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's just really funny. And what's ironic, of course, is that like they've gone through their own ideological journey and some of them have become more open-minded to our perspective as the situation is unfolded, right? And that's because of, once again, the realities on the ground, the contradictions worsening. One example is Israel, right? The more Israel's violence becomes unignorable, the more Israel's manipulation of American leadership becomes unavoidable, the more it becomes a fixture of modern American politics, the more ridiculous it is to not engage with people like myself who have been there for many, many years. So I remember listening to Pod Save in 2016. They've definitely moved left since then. Absolutely. I wish people would suggest an alternative for when they critique you. What are your solutions? Because I don't see anyone else on this list who's on the left. Yeah, that's the other side of the story, of course. Like it almost always feels like they're just angry that they're not part of this, part of the top influencer sphere, where they're like, why can't our guy, who is a centrist, who is just going to unconditionally and uncompromisingly defend the Democratic Party without making demands at all, why can't that guy get up there, In a perfect world, someone that they craft in one of these think tanks would be in the top, would be doing the tireless advocacy of defending some of these do-nothing Democrats. But that's the problem. It doesn't work that way. Charlie Kirk is still up there, rest in power, twice, as a matter of fact.
We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame.
The average guy is most definitely a fucking idiot. Sure, there's a lot of stupid people out there, but even stupid people have the capacity to understand when they're getting fucked. And even stupid people have the capacity to understand who's fucking them. And if they achieve that status of awareness, all of a sudden, they're no longer so stupid. Okay? They're, as a matter of fact, much more intelligent than people who have gone through the process of going to Ivy League institutions and still holding on to this false notion that like liberalism hasn't failed in a spectacular fashion, right? That's the beauty of class politics. The beauty of class politics is that once you see it, you can't unsee it, okay? And once you see it, you're in a far better position overall in terms of analyzing exactly what's taking place in the United States of America than the most well-educated liberal. Like, you're automatically better than Steven Pinker, okay? A guy who has dedicated his entire life to saying things are actually great. Yeah, things are great for you, Steven Pinker.
enrichment because that's a right. It has, in accordance with the international law, with the treaty, the NPT. The NPT,
What?
basically. And so
What the fuck is this? Reasons to be a Hasanabi fan, a comprehensive guide. In parentheses, streamers stink. Hasan Piker, self-proclaimed geopolitical guru, once struggled to locate Yemen on a map. Turns out his expertise has lost his sense of direction. His hot takes on the Israel-Hamas conflict. Hamas can never do wrong, dismissing war crimes like their LSF shitpose. He rails against capitalism while nestled in a $2.7 million mansion. Wait, someone wrote this as a book? Link McKinley. Then there's Hassan's love affair with terrorism, defending Hamas's resistance fighters while shrugging off the October 7th massacre of 1200. His claim that Jews are inbred and vile isn't critique. It's a dog whistle loud enough to wake a coma patient. Oh my God, this is ChatGPT. This is an AI book. Someone wrote a fucking AI book. Is AI slop. Undoubtedly self-published. AI has made effort posting much easier. Don't call it slop as Kino. Yeah, I think like AI, like back in the day, people used to actually do effort posting. Okay, guys, stop linking the fuck haters ChatGPT posts. Like, oh my God, my own community are my worst fans. They just never think. They literally don't think. They're just doing promotion for this. Like, please, what the hell is wrong with you? We crave the slop. Yes, you crave the slop. You love the drama. You can't be serious. You can't think tactically ever. Yeah, contrastive negations are my least favorite ChatGPT-isms. It's not effort posting. It's slop maxing. Yeah, it's so annoying. I hate it so much. I don't know why ChatGPT decided this is the best way to do it.